We're staying in the interface.dwg file, and as usual in this particular chapter, we're diving deeper into the AutoCAD interface. Now in this particular video, we're going to check out the command line. Now the command line is normally by default located at the bottom of the screen. You can see it here, it says type a command. So if I click in there and type line, you'll notice that a suggestion menu appears, and it's locating all of the commands that have the word line in them. Now, obviously, the most common one is the line command. So I can now select that from the suggestion menu, or I can just press enter, and you'll see now that AutoCAD is prompting me for the first point. Can you see that next to the crosshair? As I move around, it's looking for me to snap to a point to start drawing a line. So if I click in space here, drag the mouse, click again, press enter to finish, I've drawn a line. So that's basically how I instigate a command using the command line. Now the lovely thing about the command line is if I click on this arrow here at the end, it'll show me the last command that I did. There's the line command right there. But it'll also show me different values, different settings and so on that I've instigated or used a command in that space. If I click on the little arrow again, that minimizes it back to the command line. It's a great way of going back and checking what you may or may not have done in an AutoCAD drawing. Now, one of the things you can do with the command line is you can move it around. See these little dots here? Click and drag on the dots and you can move the command line around. Now, I don't tend to like doing that. I like to leave it just parked in the middle at the bottom. So I could go up to undo up here, and you might think that that would undo that. It doesn't. Okay, so you do need to click on the little dots again and place it back down at the bottom here like so. Now you can make the command line bigger, deeper, smaller. You can do that here using the little sort of spanner. I can customize. There you go, lines of prompt history, input settings, transparency. Now you can do this with palettes as well. If I click on transparency, I can set a specific opacity for a particular tool, such as the command line in this case. I can also set tool palettes to be transparent if I want to as well. You can't make dialog boxes transparent though, it's only palettes. But you can see there that I can change the transparency. If I click on the spanner again, I can also go to options. That will open up the AutoCAD options dialog box, and I can go in there and I can change any number of settings in AutoCAD if I want to. So you can see there that the command line is just a method of input. Now, the one thing I will say is a lot of the time you won't use the command line for input. You'll use the ribbon, you'll use the prompts next to the crosshair, known as the dynamic input, and you'll very rarely use the command line. But keep an eye on the command line as you work, because sometimes there are variables, values, and input there that you might actually need to implement to make a specific command process actually work within AutoCAD. But that's your command line in AutoCAD like so. Now you'll notice there's a little arrow there as well. If I click on that arrow, you'll notice there, those are the previous commands that I used in the command line. Notice there's the line, the layer, the style, etc. And there's options there, the dialog box that I opened. So bear in mind there is a little kind of menu there that shows me the previously used commands on the command line as well. Have a go with the command line. Try typing some commands like line, for example. Do line or rectangle or undo or redo. Type them in and see what happens and see what submenus appear. And it's a very useful tool in that regard. Always do that sanity check at the bottom of the screen to check the command line.